According to the conversation, early modern Japan has isolated itself for over 200 years from the outside world. And from this isolation resulted in the most endearing and distinct culture. Uh, this is one of the few examples when societies grows without outside influence. It creates something that reflects its own distinct values and culture. In the art, uh, for I enjoy studying and researching history, and I find it fascinating that isolated communities could develop its own culture in any way, and I want to share that to you. In the article from Science Direct, this phenomenon is known as cultural isolation, commonly occurring in minority communities, but put in the state of independence from outside influence. And again, with Japan, during the Sengoku and Edo period, the islands develop a distinct development due to the isolation, with its culture, language, and social structure, which remain distinct and well preserved. Traditions like the kimono, distinct calligraphy, and the flower arrangement remain the same without any external modification from outside influence. The cause for some civilization to isolate themselves is due to many factors like geographic barriers, political strategies, or cultural preservation. Geopolitical isolation leads to development of what is called biodiversity hotspots, according to ISJ. Another example of this is Iceland's language, which another community that's heavily isolated due to its island located within the island and its geographic location. The language remained largely unchanged for centuries until the modern era. According to Tometis, this preservation is known as linguistic purism, which kept the same structure and dialect of the language with no alteration or simplification of the language and its structure. And this trend is kept going all the way to the modern period, and with the structure still being preserved at this day. While isolation can lead to for civilization to preserve its culture, this can have some major consequences. Specifically, the limited exposure to new ideas and perspectives, and fields like medicine, education, and technology can slow or stop entirely for most communities. But isolation isn't just about being cut from the world. It's about the space it creates for the security to cultivate its own civilization. But sometimes these setbacks can make the nation or communities too vulnerable to disease or infection, or the lack of knowledge of certain challenges that might occur in the future. Isolations create a world apart, but it isn't a bad thing, as it shows the creative nature of humanity and how far and beyond we could go with the development of new ideas. And shaped by from the Japan's iconic culture to Iceland's ancient language, these examples show how being cut from the world can result in remarkable cultural evolution. As like for example, even other cultures like Greece and Rome started out as isolated communities from the outside world, but they develop over time and become the most influential culture. As globalization connects every corner of the world, isolated society has become much more valuable to us as humans, showing us humanity's endless capacity for innovation and identity. Thank you.